I know. I know. You read the title of this video and you're already upset at me. I didn't even say anything yet and you're already mad. You're sitting there cracking your fingers, ready to like spam some messages about how I'm wrong and I'm actually just like trash or get good, bro, or something of that nature. But let's have a real open ended discussion. Please jump in the comments. I would love to see it. Look, my team is dead already. I know. I'm usually the person in the community who pushes back on these notions. Like, no, dude, the game's not dead. Shut up. We just got one card that's good, right? But no. The game, from an online standpoint, is kind of dead at this point. And let's talk about what the reasoning for that is, right? It's multifaceted, let's say. There's a few different reasons as to why the game has felt dead and why people are kind of proclaiming that it is dead. So, right off the bat, I mean, you can already see it when you look at cards, right? Because you have to remember that 2K does, and even though they'll never admit it, they absolutely do. Every single one of these card collection modes does this. They inflate the market with cards themselves because it makes the packs look like they're dropping more and blah, 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 blah. There's reasons for it, right? But there's not a lot of cards on the auctions, period. Outside the packs that came out today, you're not seeing a lot of these cards aside from the Season 1, Volume 1 players. Like, obviously, there's a bunch of those, right? Like, because that's all we can pull, realistically. But, like, looking at some of these other ones, especially the diamonds, the key is to look at the diamonds, right? Because the diamonds, technically speaking, have a better odd percentage than the actual pink diamonds. And the fact that there's more pink diamonds up should really tell you that 2K is kind of adding the top tier cards. That they always do this. Like, I don't understand why people, like... People argue with me all the time. 2K wouldn't do that. Yes, they would. They would absolutely do that. It's in their best interest to do that. I would do that. Like, if I was running my team, I would absolutely do that. Of course, that's the smartest thing that you do. You throw some up from some 2K burner accounts, dude. You know what I mean? Because, like, if I'm pulling packs, I'm not pulling anything, and then I look and there's like a million pink diamonds up here, I'm like, dude, I'm just like a couple packs away, and I'm gonna be up here too, dog. Which is wrong. Which is super incorrect. But, like... Also, the 1% of the community that spends thousands and thousands of dollars every year, that's what keeps all the marketing afloat anyway. But there's less cards than ever, which is to be expected. Not everybody purchases 2K at the full price point right when the game comes out. A lot of people wait for Christmas too. You also got to remember that. But if you have been online over the past couple days, you may realize that, hey, wait, I've played this guy before, right? Oh man, wait, this guy, I've played this guy. This gamertag, this PSN, this looks familiar, dude. Like, I know I've played this guy before. It doesn't matter what mode you're in. We're matching up, and I've seen this all across the community. We're matching up with the same people consistently, right? I personally have had it happen multiple times over the last couple days, where no matter what mode I'm playing, if I go on there and I play someone, and then I go ahead and, you know, either end the game or I exit the game or whatever, and then I load back up again, I'm going to be playing that same dude again, and this typically happens 2 times before I just say, no, I'm not doing this anymore, and I wait like 5 minutes before starting a game, right? This is happening because the player base is so low online. I mean, it also doesn't help that the fact that it's split between current gen and next gen. Majority of the people complaining about this are going to be on next gen because the player pool is infinitely smaller than over on current gen, but I'm seeing the same thing happen in current gen, and I didn't see that last year, so that's kind of like not a good thing. Now, the reason for that is simple. It's so simple. The game is fucking hard, dude. It is. Like, the game is hard. Like, anybody who tells you that it's not and you just need to get good is dumb because the game is hard, right? Jump shots are harder to time than ever, right? They really are, dude. No whites going in, that's one thing, but the green percentage is rough, dude. If you're not used to a player's jump shot, good luck greening it consistently, especially with the online lag, dude, which there's definitely input delay online. Like, that's not something that's fake. That's always been an issue with 2K, and it's been hard to green because of it for your average person that doesn't spend 47 hours on the game per week. You know what I mean? Like, can I green consistently offline? Yes. Can I green consistently online? Sometimes. It kind of depends. You guys watch me play. You know what's up. Like, but casual players, like people who hop on the game, and you can look in the comments below because I guarantee there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, yeah, dude, I stopped playing it already and went back to MLB The Show, or I went back to Madden because it's just like, dude, I'm not trying to go play clutch time and just get beat up by a dude paint sitting, right? It's a combination of things. A, 2K has made the grinds way too long, dude, in way too short of a time period, right? Like the takeover players are really like the no money spent guys kind of hope. Like really? Like because I mean if you're not spending money on packs and getting the best cards, which if you're spending money on packs, there's absolutely no guarantee you're getting the best cards. It's actually kind of the opposite. If you spend $100, it's very likely you don't pull shit, like period. And not only do you not pull anything, you probably don't even make enough MT off that $100 to even afford the best cards in the game because they're so overpriced right now. That's reality of the situation. Anybody who's opened packs with VC knows that that's the truth, and anyone who argues with that just buys MT, right? Like, let's be real. Anybody who's ever argued with me and been like, no, that's not it, like, you either open way more than $100 worth of packs or you just cop MT at this point, you know what I mean? So that's a problem in and of itself, and that's been a problem that I've said for years has been turning away the casual player base, is that, dude, you can't even get the players you want to use because 2K's pack odds are so horrible. Like, it's just like, whatever, dude. The pack odds in MLB The Show are bad. The pack odds in Madden are bad. All the pack odds are bad. Packs are bad. Like, that's the reality of the situation. They're horrible. They're not meant to actually reward you with anything. They're meant to suck money from you, and that's what they do, which is whatever. I don't like it. Well, what am I going to do? I can't go lobby Congress. All right. Honestly, they wouldn't listen to me anyway. Ooh, I'd love the 2K smear campaign. So I'm not going to hold 2K to a worse standard because they do the same thing every video game company does. Yeah, they're a little egregious with it, but Madden is not any better, trust me. Like, it's not like EA is going to be better about it. They're only better about it with FIFA because they keep getting in trouble in Europe. Like, that's the only reason. So until that consistently starts happening with 2K, expect the same thing. But for your average casual player that doesn't spend a bunch of money on this game and doesn't have a lot of time to play this game, there's really no options for them as far as like getting elite level players or players that can compete online consistently, right? Outside of pure RNG luck, which it could be 5 minutes, it could be 500 hours, and you could never see that card. You know what I mean? Some people will go in, play a couple triple threat games, get the card. Cool. Dude, good for you. I'm not mad at you. Then there's other players that will play clutch time for like 800 games and never get the reward from clutch time. Me. That's me. Right? But I still come back for more. But that is driving casual players along. And people use the term casual like in a derogatory sense, which I find really annoying. It's not, being a casual 2K player is not a bad thing. It's not. It means you're living a fulfilling life outside of 2K, okay? Like, it means you play other games. You probably have fun. You probably don't hate yourself. You know, there's a lot of like positives to not doing that. But the game is objectively hard. And the only way to really get good at it is to play it a lot, right? And a lot of people, being that they're grown-ass adults or children, straight up do not have the time for this. They don't have the time to sit there and practice for 35 hours before taking it to the unlimited streets, right? The casual aspect is gone. The takeover players are out of reach. You know, people, even the trophy case is out of reach. Like, yeah, they gave us that stuff last weekend, but if you weren't on the game last weekend, you didn't get that, so you still don't have a trophy card. Like, you don't have a trophy player. Like, it doesn't matter. Even then, even if you got all those pieces, you still had to do a pretty ridiculous grind just to get that. Like, you had to play 100 clutch time offline wins or like 200 clutch time online. Or, 100 clutch time online. Like 250 triple threat offline games, right? Something like that. Fucking crazy. And it's like super frustrating. So that's turning casuals off. And then let's talk about shooting, obviously, because people are going to sit here and talk about how skill gap's good. Skill gap has never been good for the game. I know what you're going to say. Oh, but I don't want to get beat by a random just because he's hitting all these plates. Look, I agree with that sentiment, right? From a competitive standpoint, for sure, you want to see the skill gap. Like during the 250K tournament, yes, they absolutely should keep the shooting the exact same. They should. Those are the best players in the world. They can adapt, right? You don't want to be getting bailed out with whites in the 250K. You don't. Like, well, you do, but you don't want your opponent doing that. Like, that's going to suck. But, like, Jimmy Smith over here, who's 16 and plays the game for, like, a little bit, 10 hours a week. Or, like, my boy Mark over here, who's, like, 34 and just likes basketball games and has, like, 7 hours a week that he can play them. I don't think they want to have to sit here and learn the green machine out here, dude. I think they just want to get on 2K and hoop with their favorite players. You know what I mean? People just want to go shoot with Kawhi, dude, and score like 25 points and lose. That's the thing about this here. It's not fun to lose. And you can sit here and argue with me that it's never fun to lose, but like, yeah, it has been. 2K19 would be a good example. Was it a perfect game? Absolutely not. Did I have fun majority of the time, even though I was losing? Yeah, dude, because it was just a fun game to play. 2K has kind of gotten away with it being, gotten away from it being a fun game to play. It hasn't been a fun game to play since 2K19. 2K20 was like kind of fun to play. Like I would say they made the requirements a little aggressive, so it kind of took the fun out of it, but it hasn't been a fun game to play since at least 2K20. You can make the argument, right? Definitely not this year. This year, if you're a super sweat, it's probably fun because you're probably killing it out here. But if you're like a regular player, no, you're not having fun. Like you're shooting 26%. Like the person you're playing against is quite literally just sitting with their control player right here, dude, just like post guarding like all day, every day. And then they'll just switch out to whoever's guarding you on the perimeter, and then they'll just stand in front of you with their hand up for a contest. Like that's not fun. Nobody wants to do that. Like no one. Defense is easy, enough. Like if you know what you're doing, it's pretty easy. Like it's whatever. Rim running's overpowered. People paint mash. But I would say the problem is threefold. The split between multiple gens, which I've said since the announcement that they were going to do that was a horrible idea. And I don't know how it's taken them 3 years to figure out that this is not a good idea. No other game does this. Why do you think no other game does this? Because it just murders the player base. Like, I don't get it. I mean, I get it. So they can sell the Super Sweats an extra $70 version of the game that they wouldn't normally buy, right? That's exactly why they do it. But still stupid. The quote-unquote skill gap that's out here right now is horrible. So, I mean, your average player that just is doing it for fun, like when they're not at work or just like want to enjoy themselves, is not playing this game online. And the fact that every grind is like a 45-hour grind, dude. Like, MLB has some long grinds too, for sure. But majority of them you can get done in an afternoon if you really want to. Like, the difference between 2K grinds and MLB The Show grinds, like if I want to do, let's just say the Roberto Clemente program, right? It probably takes you 8 hours to do it. You play some Conquest, you get some parallel XP, you don't have to win any games, you don't have to do anything specific. You do some moments, you do some parallel with like Pirates players, but you could do that in any mode you want to. And then after like 8 hours, you're like super close and you're probably done. You do a couple exchanges or something and you're good to go, right? 2K, not the case. If there's a player up for grabs, I got to win 37 in clutch time offline games. I got to win like 14 unlimited games. Obviously, the numbers are all wrong on purpose. I know that. I got to win 147 triple threat online games. I got to win like 200 triple threat offline games just to get one single player that I'm going to use for 2 weeks and that I won't even have time to enjoy because by the time I get this card, it's either expired or the power balancing is done. Like, that's the thing. It's like I feel like content creators kind of take for granted that we have unlimited time essentially to play this game, especially ones that like make enough money that this is their full-time job, which is not me. They take for granted the fact that majority of people do not have that luxury. Like they don't. Not saying YouTube is the perfect job or anything, but at the same time, like, yes, you have unlimited time. Your whole job is to play 2K, right? Which is not a negative thing whatsoever. But you also have to remember 99.9% of people watching your channel, they don't have that same luxury. Like they can't sit there. You can support the 40-hour grinds, dude. I'm not talking about anybody specifically. I'm just saying content creators as a whole because people love to jump in the comments and be like, yeah, fuck this guy. No, I'm not saying anyone specifically. I'm just saying content creators have always had a problem. This goes pretty much for every single game because they lose touch with the reality of like how much time regular people actually have to play video games. That's like kind of a problem. So either way, the other reason is a simple one, and this is one that I would say is positive, right? The other three, long grinds, expensive packs, terrible odds, and then general sweatiness of the community as a whole, and the skill gap, quote unquote, are all, I would say, negatives. You could say the skill gap one is a positive. There's no way anybody's coming in here and defending the pack odds. That shit ain't gonna happen. But like the other one is just the fact that there's a lot of offline stuff to do. You can just play clutch time offline and have a fun time. Yeah, the CPU is definitely aggressive, but once you get the 100 wins, it's back on rookie, baby. We're all good. We're out here torching. I play clutch time for fun. I have fun. I do theme lineups. I play clutch time offline. I would have played probably no online last year if they had clutch time offline. Like, let's be real here. Like, fuck online, dude. I'm not trying to play that. Like, nah, I'm trying to have fun, dude. I'm trying to get blasted in my living room and pet my cat and play 2K. Like, that's what I'm trying to do, dude. I'm not trying to sit there and sweat my life off just because I need this one card that I'll use for 3 weeks, you know? So I would say that's a positive. Like, that's a positive reason that no one's playing the game right now. Is just because a lot of people are just enjoying the single player elements, which means 2K is going to nuke them at some point, which is not good. I don't think 2K has never really removed anything. I would be so mad. I feel like there'd be so much outcry if they removed any of the single player elements, though. That's part of the reason probably that they gave us all 5 dominations initially, so they could just never update single player again. Like, that's probably why they did it. That's another thing too. All right, I want to talk about this for a second before I end this video, because this is just, it's a small thing, but it is infuriating, dude. Why? Domination is hard. I'm sorry, it is. All right, I know you're looking at me, I'm a cool content creator. I'm saying, being super sarcastic, and you're being like, dude, why do you hate domination? Shouldn't you be fire at it? No, the CPU is God mode, dude. The CPU is crazy. It's one of the most cracked CPUs in all of gaming, straight up. Like, this game should not feel like Dark Souls, all right? I should not have to, like, grind my life away to play offline. And look, let's be real. Domination has kind of always been like this. Like, it's always been harder than it should be, right? For the level of rewards that you get. But, like, why do I have to win on All-Star by 15 points? Like, why do I have to win by a certain amount of points this year? The MT totals were already stupid. You said you were getting rid of that. I thought that just meant, like, I would have to win these games, but no, the grind is already 147 fucking hours long or something. Like, I don't know. Each game is 30 minutes long. You couldn't even lower the amount of time it took per game, right, to 3 minutes. No, you had to keep it at 5. So, like, there's what? So many games. There's 5 dominations, 33 games total in each. That's like, it's over 150 games. So it's like 75 to 80 hours. Somebody completed it in 62, I believe. Which is kind of crazy, but I don't think they completed all of the domination. I think they just went straight to Havlicek, and it took them 62 hours. So, like, there's a lot, right? Why do I have to win by a certain? It's already so much time. Why can't I just win the game? If I win the game, I'm done, right? Why do I have to win by 15 points against the Houston Rockets, dude? The CPU is cracked out. Sometimes at the end of the game, if you're up 15, they will hit like a ridiculous shot just to make it 14 so you have to play it again. So stupid. That's another thing that's turning away players who just want to have fun with the game, dude. I'm only making this video because 2K will never, ever see any of my content. And if they do, it's not in a positive light, for sure. It's some little 2K snitch bot, like, sending it to them so that they can see what I said wrong. And hope to God I'm promoting MT, which I'm not, so they can ban me because they have no reason to do it right now. But, like, dude, just make the game better for casual players. Like, I promise, dude, Havlicek is good, but, like, he's not that good. You can let just, like, a regular dude have Havlicek. It's really not that big of a deal. Dude who grinded all through Domination probably isn't touching online anyway. And a person who grinded all the way through Domination to get Havlicek that was going to touch online anyway is probably in a different SBMM and bracket than, like, any of the casuals anyway. So who cares? Rant over. Have a good night.